Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It's a new homework discussion week. It is currently March 21st. And we have, what?
22nd over here.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's probably the 22nd here, too. I don't pay attention. The days are all running together. Okay, I am Sammy from Sammy G Stitches on FlossTube. We have Lisa from Shady Tree Stitchers on FlossTube or Paddock Lane Designs on Facebook, and Harriet from Stitch by Stitch Recovery on Facebook. Or no, YouTube.
FlossTube.
Just kidding. Okay, so we're going to discuss School Magical Stitches homework and then Daily 30 homework. Harriet, if you'll start us off with Magical Stitches.
Yep. So this week we have 2 prompts and people need to pick one of the 2. So for 1,000 stitches or 1,500 for penalty stitches, choice 1 is stitch on something that either scares you or has something scary in it.
Lisa?
Based on what I want to work on this week, I would be picking my Village of Hawk Run Hollow because that graveyard down the bottom would have some scary ghosts in it.
Yeah. Sammy?
I don't know. I mean, I guess witches can be scary.
That's what I was thinking, Sammy. You might be able to get her finished with 1,000 stitches.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not positive she has 1,000, but hey.
So if you, just on that, if you say she has 800 and you finish her, you would then go to your next scary sweep to do the other 200?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or really any whip at that point.
Yeah, but you got to do 1,000 stitches.
Done. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And my scary whip, please work, is my dinosaurs, because the amount of confetti terrifies me. But I don't think I will get to 1,000 stitches on that in a week. That's a bit much.
Well, you might.
Might. Can you imagine? Okay. So the second prompt is stitch on a project that is your Mount Everest and explain why.
All right. Well, this is the one I'm actually going to do with my Village of Hawk Run Hollow because it is a huge piece and I'm doing it on 40 count linen. So that is a major mountain for me to climb over and especially do 1,000 stitches on. But I have only done those two blocks and I need to do a third one for March. So 1,000 stitches should get me well underway on one of the next blocks.
Okay.
Yes.
The one that first comes to mind for me is Autumn Wreath, because I've had to overcome a lot of obstacles to try and get to where I am on it, and I'm trying to get it finished by the end of the year. It's my oldest whip. So in a lot of ways, it's like having to climb Mount Everest and
it's like overcome that last steep face.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I am concerned about trying to get 1,000 stitches in it in the allotted time because it's very confetti heavy. But I also think I might be at a point where it's grooving fast enough. I might be able to manage it. So I think I want to go with this one, but if I'm not feeling confident in it, I'll go with the scary one.
Yeah. And then I am using my Train Haid, which is based on this artwork. It's my Mount Everest because it is going to take me so long to stitch it. It's so massive.
It's beautiful. It's like just going through the Blue Mountains, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think that's where it's based on. So, yeah. Yep. I want it done, but I've only done a page and a half. So it's my Mount Everest.
So you're going to go Mount Everest?
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah.
Mount Everest.
And one thing to think about that I know we haven't necessarily explicitly said in the past is that on these 1,000 stitch weeks, if you do not reach 1,000 stitches, post your progress anyway, because progress is progress and we're going to give you some kind of points for it. So it's all about just trying to get as much stitching as you can. So don't get overwhelmed with the fact that it's 1,000. Do what you can.
Yeah.
And post your beginning and your ending with your stitch count and see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
Don't forget to self-grade.
No,
Yeah.
please. Shell's group, as we know, is closed. This is for the 200 or 300 people who are involved. It's all about John Henry, the tireless railroad worker, who's a stuff of the American legend. To us Australians, means absolutely nothing, but to you Americans, hopefully you know who John Henry is. He even has a ballad and folk tales. So he represented the hearts of the working men who struggled to keep their jobs on the railroad as machines begin moving in to do their work. 2 weeks to do this. You can add an additional 100 stitches for alternate stitches if you want. You can also do a build challenge and double prompts 1 to 5, all the usual things. So number 1, process of building a tunnel in the 1870s was slow and difficult work. In order to construct the railroads, companies hired thousands of men to smooth out terrain and cut through obstacles that stood in the way of the proposed track. Stitch with something that might have an obstructed construction of a tunnel. So, Harriet?
Might have something that has an obstruction, right?
So it'll stop you building a tunnel.
I could probably use my Haid, my train Haid, because it could be in a protected land area where you're not allowed to dig, which would mean a tunnel could not go through.
Okay.
Okay. So going along those same lines and trying to double dip, if I used autumn wreath, I could say there's a lot of overgrowth.
Lots of roots and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I want to double dip this one too. And I was thinking village of Hawk Run Hollow, because where the mill is, there's a big pond. And if you try and tunnel under that pond, it's going to flood.
Yeah.
And again, we're not experts on these homeworks. We can only give our opinion.
Yes.
I was
And
thinking,
you can't ask questions, so
no.
you just kind of.
Harriet, you could do your dinosaurs too, because if you had a dinosaur sitting in a cave, you wouldn't want to tunnel through it, would you?
No, I really wouldn't.
No.
I could
Also,
use my dinosaurs.
If there are bones buried near it, they would probably like stop you from being able to dig because those are, need to be recovered and
Yeah.
All right. So John Henry was hired as a steel driver for the railroad. Steel driving men like John Henry used large hammers and stakes to pound holes into the rock, which they then filled with explosives that would blast a cavity deeper and deeper into the mountain. Stitch on a piece you've blasted through and can almost see the light at the end of the tunnel. So in other words, a WIP you've almost completed.
Yep. So it would have to be...
What are the stitch counts again? Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, sorry, I didn't say that. My fault. 300 or 400 this week.
300 or 400. I would be using my Celtic Spring, I think. Am I sharing the right page?
Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I've got even more done on her now. I finished her head and I'm in the borders. So I think I probably only have about 1,000 cross stitch to go.
Mm-hmm. And then beads.
And then beads. And she's probably my closest that I've like steamed through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine would be Sophia. She is really I only have like this area right here left. In fact, she may not have 300 stitches in her. But if I finish her, and I would go on to my next closest to a finish, which would be Guardians of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, mine would be Paddock Lane Designs. E is for Esky.
That's looking so good.
Yep, there's not a lot left to do on that. So I've actually just got to fill in the drinks in the esky and finish the border, and that will be done. So that's going to be my blasting along piece. All right. Eager to reduce costs and speed up progress. Some tunnel engineers were using steam drills to power their way into the rock. Put some stitches into a WIP that you've saved money by not stitching as it's charted, and tell us how you were frugal.
Oh, okay. I've got one on this one. Took me a while there. So I've converted Celtic Spring into my own colours, and in doing that, I have combined multiple different colours on the original into one thread, and I'm changing the beads into just one colour rather than a whole array of colours, which means I've saved money on beads and on threads because I haven't bought as many as I would have.
Awesome.
Hoping that will work.
Should do.
I think this one I could actually use forever and ever because it is charted, I believe, in all weeks dye works.
Yeah.
It might be one of the other Fancy Flosses, but it's completely charted in Fancy Flosses, and I'm doing the DMC conversion. So a lot cheaper.
That works. Well, I'm going to do my Little House Needleworks gardening. And the reason is that I'm doing it on a piece of my own hand-dyed fabric, and it's charted in crescent colors. I don't even know what crescent colors are, but I'm going to use some of my fancy flosses I've been collecting. And in particular, frugally, these are leftover ones from my ship's manor last year. So I'm going to do it for that. Okay. John Henry challenged the steam drill to a contest. Using two 10-pound hammers, one in each hand, John Henry dug a 14-foot, which is 4 meters, hole, but the machine only made it 9 feet, nearly 3 meters. As the rail workers celebrated, John Henry toppled over and died from exhaustion. Stitch on a WIP that has exhausted you. I think Sammy's ready.
Oh, 1 second.
I have to find my picture. Okay.
I think I would use Autumn Wreath for that one too. If I'm having to do 1,000 stitches on it for School of Magical Stitches, that means I can get 2 to 3 of Shirls in there, and it has just, I'm so ready for it to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I could use my Hade, but I think what I will actually go with is March by Paddock Lane Designs, because stitching this little bunny rabbit has been so exhausting.
He hasn't liked you, has he?
He has not. I've made so many mistakes on him, and he's ready for timeout for a little bit. But if it's for a prompt, I can bring him back out.
Well, that's good. You'll feel better when he's done. And he's a simple little bunny. It's just funny that he doesn't like you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm with Sammy. My village of Hawk Run Hollow, because I can do 1,000 stitches for magical. I can do a second prompt for shells with this. And it does exhaust me because it's on the 40 count. And we all know how great my eyesight is not. In 1996, the US Postal Service issued a John Henry postage stamp, part of a set honoring American folk heroes. Stitch on a piece you feel would make a beautiful postage stamp.
My Hade with the train on it would make a very beautiful postage stamp.
I would buy that postage. I would buy that.
Yeah, definitely Sammy.
Yeah.
I'd buy that postage stamp.
Yes. Fall is one of my favorite seasons. So just seeing stuff like that, it makes you feel good inside.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of being different.
Ah.
Because
Always.
different, yes. I can't see if you can see that. My linen and thread sale.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm behind, and I feel like that butterfly in particular there would be a cute postage stamp, or little round emblem there. So yeah,
Yeah.
something from this.
I know that here, our international stamps are round. Our other postage is always rectangular, but the international stamps are round like that.
Round, really? That's weird.
Yeah.
I've never seen round stamps, but okay. So yeah, I think I will do that one, or because it's the same idea, I could do this one, which is the modern folk one. Same thing, that flower would make a pretty postage stamp. So whichever one of them I think I feel like. The modern folk's my daily 30, so I probably should do the linen and threads because I want to try and keep them separate. So yeah, I don't know. Which reminds me, I really should start on my daily 30 because it's already Sunday night.
Yes.
Okay. Then we have the bonus, 300 stitches, but for 5 tokens. Stitch on a piece with a train. The train must be obvious in the design. I know what Harriet's doing.
Yeah.
Harriet's pretty bloody predictable.
Yes. Well, it helps that this week is literally about someone who played with trains all the time, and I'm doing a train. So, yeah.
That's good. While Sammy's thinking, you can't see it, but this is the startings of the train in the Letters from Hogwarts Sal by Cunning Cross Stitch. And I hadn't done the train yet, so I thought, well, I may as well do the train for the train.
Yeah.
That's what I'm stitching on at the moment, is my train. Sammy?
I don't think I have a train. I'm flipping through really quick here.
London, Paris.
It doesn't have a train.
Is there no train on the Haid? There's a boat.
Could there be a train in Fairy Tale?
No. I'm looking, but there isn't.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
What about your other Haid, the one you put in time out, Sammy?
The
bookshelf one.
Oh, well, I UFO'd that one. Well, I have another bookshelf one I was looking at, but there's no train on it that I can see. Like,
No.
even though it's about Paris also. So.
Is there no train on Alice?
Nope, no train on Alice.
And there's no trains on our modern folk embroidery either.
Mm-mm.
No.
So no bonus for Sam this week because I'm not starting anything just to just for
not just for a bonus.
Although this week, what does this week end? Well, it lasts for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna look at my kitted items because the 29th would be before this one ends.
And you could start a train.
Right. If I have one already kitted. Let me check real quick. Is there anything else?
Well, no, and then let's do your daily 30. But while you're checking, Sane's alphabet soup changes to the letter G in 2 days' time. So I'm going to work on my gardening for that, and I'll do a double for Shirls. I'll double up the count because I can. Do you have anything for G, Harriet?
It would depend if Miss
Guardians of Notre Dame for Sammy. All right, keep looking.
Yeah, that one works really well. It would depend if Miss Goss Swallowtails worked, but that would be a new start, and I'm not starting a new thing just for the alphabet.
No, fair enough. They're also still traveling around Ireland. So I know I'm still working on my 5,000 stitches on anything. I'll get there. I'm about 3,000. And I finished my 1,000 stitches on all the other products. They're big challenges, those ones. You guys are still letter of fortuning?
Yes.
I'm not.
Nope, Sammy is, yep.
Yeah.
We're still building our full coverage Fanatic parts.
Yes, I should be getting pretty close to my second one.
And Sammy's finished her first level of the scavenger hunt for Shirl.
Yes.
Sammy's awesome. Now she can double dip everything. I'm very jealous.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very important to actually getting some of Cheryl's homework done now.
Yeah, I need to do some more of my scavenger hunt pieces. I just keep getting so many other homework things to do.
You have wagons, Sammy.
Wagons.
You have wagons. I can't see a train though.
No trains.
No trains, Sammy.
I got a train pass. It's down there.
That would probably work. You could probably pass that. You could do it anyway, Sammy, just so do 300 stitches, and if they don't pay it, they don't pay it. You've done 300 stitches.
You know.
That's the thing with all this homework. Some people get stressed out, and it's like, you just do what you can do. For some people like me, I like to do the homework because it's been set, so therefore I do it. And it means I get lots of stitching done because I go, right, I got to do my homework. For other people, it's an option. You don't have to do it.
Right. I tend to go the option route a little bit more. Last year, if it's there, I have to do it. This year, I'm doing the option route a little bit more because I am focusing on a rotation. I'm not pulling out just any whip. And I was focused on getting the scavenger hunt before so that I could double dip with homework. So I'm getting to the point now where I'll be able to squeeze in a few more of those prompts.
Yeah. Awesome. So that's it. Any others?
Don't think so.
No,
not this week. So yeah, I think that's it. We will see y'all next week.
Bye.